guys seen Grace and Water? Huh? You got that?
Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
Money.
Let's get to the
Money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmaker's getting cooked. When I spot a dirty K, the 4 units getting played. Always find the value, I would never be afraid. Scary money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty old picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-pop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies.
And here we go.
Yeah, welcome to the Walking Dead, fellas, where there is no sleep for the wicked. It is Tuesday, so you know what that means. Yeah, Ribeyes with Mike is here today, as long as the 6 pitchers we always break down. So we do have us a busy day, but Big Show is back. Thank you, baby Jesus. I can now go through the chat at the end, guys, because it was just too much for me trying to run the back and do that. And thank God I have the best producer in the whole wide freaking world because, yeah, no more vacations, but no more. No mas. Not allowed to. So make sure you do hashtag we be pubbing in your best bet. And I know the last few days I didn't get to reading them out. And strictly, guys, that's because Sharpie can't do 2 things at once. You know, I hit the damn, well, see you later button when I was trying to say, yeah. So, he's back. I'm back. We're all good. Obviously, I'm back, guys, because we've had 7 straight days of either losing a tiny bit of juice or winning money. Now, what I haven't had is a goddamn sweep. So we need the brooms out today, guys, and let's talk us some sponsors. As you know, this show is sponsored by Dubby, a clean energy powder with no come down to your day. And by scanning that QR code on screen, you will get 10% off your first order by using the best promo code on God's green earth. And that's Pub Sports. If you haven't already, guys, do me a favor and smash that like button and make sure you do have those notification bells on. On this show, we will talk the first line opened up on a K-prop, also the best line available 30 minutes prior to the show, and then we will see where the value lies between the books and PrizePicks. Of course, this show is sponsored by PrizePicks as well, so if you haven't, go on over there and use that promo code PUBSPORTS, and you will get a match deposit on your first deposit up to 100, minimum of 25. First guy on the board today is Logan Allen at the Reds. Number 62 in the black book is only striking people out this year 22.5% of the time, while walking people 9% of the time as well. Opened him up 5+ -166 on FanDuel, where the best line available is 5+ -145 on BetMGM. PrizePicks has him at a 5, whereas pitching outs under over are at a 15.5. Lineups did come out before the show, and it is 9 righties and 1 lefties. This game does show some rain at the beginning, but has plenty of time to get in if they need to delay the start an hour or so. But we got Logan Allen at the Reds, where when we look at their numbers versus lefties over the last 200 plate appearances, they're not walking, 6.5% while striking out 25.5% of the time, with a team isolated power of $1.65. So let's go see who they seen in that time span of numbers that do date back to July 18th. As Braxton Garrett went 6 innings, 2 earned runs, yet only had 3 strikeouts. Patrick Corbin went 6.1 innings, 3 earned runs with 2 strikeouts, while Drew Smiley got blasted and didn't make it 5 innings, giving up 5 earned runs, but did have 7 strikeouts. Tommy Henry from the D-backs got blasted and didn't make it 5 innings, giving up 3 earned runs, striking out only 2. And a bullpen day from the Giants. They seen Manaea in 2.1 innings. He had 3 strikeouts, where he was backed by Alexander, who had 3 strikeouts in the 1 inning of work that he faced. And that's really every lefty that they've seen in these numbers besides deep bullpen, end of the bullpen type guys, as the only lefty in that mix that I would look to bet on is Braxton Garrett. And yes, he pitched well, but was never in the question of hitting his K-prop over, as the only one in this group who did hit it, he got shelled, guys, and that's another example of strikeouts just do not correlate with sides and totals. So we get a juiced 4.5 to the gills, and no book is willing to move him to a 5.5. There's some books out there with like minus 165 on it, and they're just refusing to move this dude to a 5.5. Guys, the reasons he's only hit that is he's only hit that 5.5 one time in his last 10. And he only has a 50% win percentage to that 4.5. So they've added on some heavy juice, guys. And if we look at the last 10 games of who Allen has played and who he's gone up, this may actually look like a spot to go look on and bet Allen's over today, guys. So he's seen the Astros in the last 10 games. We know what the Astros are, guys. They just don't strike out the lefties. He also seen the Padres, who crush lefties for the most part, and that's what they did to him. He didn't make it out the 4th inning, guys, versus them. So, and then he had a back-to-back with the White Sox, guys, where we were on his under one time, and that happened to be the second back-to-back with the White Sox this freaking year. So, there's no harm, no foul right there. And yeah, guys, if you look at the only game by the numbers where it said he should hit.
You guys seen Grayson Waller? Huh? You got the dust?
Yeah. So if we're going to go look at it, guys, we've got to look at who he's played. And if we look at the last 3, it's been terrible matchups. It's been the Toronto Blue Jays. We faded his under there. Back-to-backs on the White Sox. Now, his guy's gotten 5 or more in every time where it said he should have, other than the game versus the Minnesota Twins. So if you're on his over 4.5, I get it. They're making you pay some heavy, heavy juice for it. And I was actually looking towards this man's outs today, but when I looked at his earned runs, it scared me off his outs. And hear me out. They put his 2.5 earned runs at a minus 137. He's only allowed 3 earned runs in just 30% of his last 10 in just 5 of his 17 games this year. And if he's going to give up 3 runs, he could still have a quality start, 6 innings, 3 runs. But what if he gives those up early? Then he's not going to be allowed to go. So that, at the end of the day, scared the living dog shit out of me, where they put his earned runs at a spot where they're saying he's getting hit. But the lineups did come out, and I will run the lineups as we do Ribeyes with Mike in about 10 minutes or so. Then I will let you know if I do pull the trigger on this guy's strikeout prop today, as it's either a let go or bet it type spot, in my opinion. Zach Wheeler at the Blue Jays, number 16 in the black book, is striking people out this year at a 27% clip, walking people 4.5% of the time. Opened them up 7+ at minus 125 on DraftKings, where the best line available now is at a minus 116 to the 6.5 on FanDuel. That's where PrizePicks has them, as well as at a 6.5, whereas hits allowed on PrizePicks are over at a flat 5. Projected lineup for your Blue Jays is 7 righties, 2 lefties. Now we get us the second matchup of the year with Wheeler and the Blue Jays. We're back on May 10th, which happened to be my birthday. He went 7 innings, 1 earned run while striking out 7. And the number said, hell no, as the lineup that day was walking and hitting righties top 5 in the league while striking out middle of the pack just 22% of their at-bats. And now their overall numbers say pretty much the same thing. They are now league average when it comes to when they were walking top 5, yet they're still only striking out 22% of the time, and their isolated power is a disgusting 109. What happens to be the second worst in the league at the moment in the last 15 days. And the last time Wheeler faced this team, they had an isolated power near 200, and he dominated them. So at the moment, I'm looking over, guys. So let's dig a little more into this and the projected lineup. As a God, this may be a godsend to a K prop over for a guy. Wheeler has a projected 7 right-handed bats in this lineup. And this year, Wheeler's striking out lefties at a mediocre 8.6K per 9 compared to an elite 11.8 versus the right-handed side. So let's go check this past history versus Wheeler. As in the projected lineup, there is only one guy in this projected lineup that has not seen Wheeler at least 3 at-bats, with at least 6 who have seen him 7 at-bats or more, and a combined 76 at-bats versus Wheeler throughout their career. They're striking out only 23.5% of their plate appearances. Now that that right there has me not wanting the over, guys, as past history does play out more often than not. So I will be backing Wheeler today. It just may not be a strikeout prop, as I do expect him to come down and shut down the Blue Jays in what is an easier matchup by the numbers than when he faced them back in May. So lineups will tell me a whole lot, guys, whether I take his K prop over or in a hold my beer type of situation, or I just look at the team total under full game, as I expect this guy to be out there 7 solid innings and 2 earned runs or less. Yes, you can't ask a guy to be perfect. That's asking a whole lot nowadays. And I did want to go take his outs, but they're not fucking around with that, guys. They've got that juice to 180, 90, depending on what book you want to look at, to his over 17.5. They got his earned runs at like minus 150, 60, 70 to the 2.5. So the way I will attack Wheeler if I don't get in on his K prop is that Jay's total full game under, as it is at 3.5 even money to minus 110, depending on your book. Then we get into the third guy, and I just need one thing. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. I'm going to fuck your hoe tomorrow. All right, maybe that's not the song, but we're going to talk about a guy not in the book, and that's Bailey Falter at the Mets, striking people out 15.5% of the time this year, while walking people 5% of the time. Open them up on DraftKings 4+ minus 125, where the best line available is on FanDuel to that 3.5 minus 112, and that's each way to the under or over. PrizePicks has him at a 3.5, whereas pitching outs under over are at a 15.5. Projected lineup is 6 righties and 3 lefties for your Mets. Now we are talking Bailey Falter on this show, and Sharpie, it's not 2022 when we were actually making money on this man's overs. It's 2023, guys, and yeah, Bailey Falter is who he is. He is a guy who relies on a 75-foot stride to home plate to throw off the timing of hitters. And that is 15% longer of a stride than league average, guys. So think Aroldis Chapman status. So yes, Falter throws 92 on the radar gun, but every foot you can get closer to home plate before you release the ball is an extra 3 miles per hour added on to the radar gun. So his 92 really does play up to 98. As the ball just gets there on you. And you can take advantage of betting on Falter, guys, with teams who haven't seen him at least the first time through the lineup, as the more times you see this man, you get that the 92 plays up and you adjust. And that's where we have the Mets, guys. And their numbers over their last 200 plate appearances versus lefties have come back to what we have been used to. And that's seeing an elite strikeout percentage next to their name, as they still are not hitting, guys, and they're still not walking, but they're not striking out less than 20% of their at-bats over their last 200 plate appearances versus lefties. Now, like I said, they're still not walking or hitting for the life of them. But this may be a nice spot for the Mets bats to wake up, at least for a day. But hear me out, guys. Let's get into this. He's seen this team 2 times last year. He had himself a really good game, going 6 innings, 0 earned runs, 3 hits, but only had himself 3 strikeouts. Then he's seen them again, and he didn't make it out the 3rd inning and didn't come close to that 4 strikeouts. So when we look at this guy's K per 9 throughout his career, he's got a 9.2 K per 9 versus the left-handed side compared to just a 7.2 from the right-handed side. As Nimbo is projected to lead off and has struck out 2 of his 6 plate appearances versus Falter in the past. But like I said, this guy has a really big advantage on you the first time around. The second and third time, which will be Nimbo's, advantage now goes to the hitter who's done seen what you got, bro, and that's deception. And at the end of the day, Bailey Falter relies on deception. And when I dig through this lineup, and even with Nimmo, guys, who struck out 2 times in his 6 plate appearances, there's only been 16 plate appearances, guys. No, there's been 22 plate appearances if you take in Nimmo. And they're at a 16% strikeout rate throughout his career. I mean, that ain't a lot of plate appearances, hear me out. And that is from the top dogs in the lineup. Now, if you take out that 6 for 2 from Nimmo, we still got 16 plate appearances from Lindor, from Alvarez, and from McNeil. And they have a combined 0 strikeouts versus Bailey Falter, guys. So, yeah. Take out that fucking bum Ortega in the lineup, guys, and I will be betting under. I get it. Ortega's in the 9 hole. This team ain't hitting. Ortega right now in his last 10 at-bats, which happens to be over the time span of these 200 plate appearances versus lefties, is striking out a god-awful like 44% or 45%. I don't know. I was something in the 40s to where I was like, dude, this dude does strike out lefties better than righties. This team's not hitting. So there is the fucking chance this dude goes 6 innings on our ass today. And if Ortega strikes out 2 or 3 of those fucking at-bats, then I'm not getting under 4, guys. So I need Ortega out this lineup, and I will be going under on Bailey Falter today because that's the only way I can look. As I still couldn't look to bet is over if Ortega was in it, guys. It's just there is that in the cards that this dude does go 6 innings versus this sorry-ass Mets team. But if there was a day to get right, today would be the day to get right. So, we get to start the part of the show, guys, where we talk about eating steak. No salmon for this man, as it's that time of the day for Ribeyes with Mike.
I didn't want salmon! I said it 4 times! Wedding is horseshit.
Yeah. Man, as you're
what up, Sharpie?
You're packing down for that weather, but I hit you up like an hour before the show. You're like, Sharpie, I'm fucking bunkering in, dude, for the storm. Give me some time. So
I had some things going on. You know, when we get the rain, it doesn't stop, man. It comes down in buckets. So I'm expecting it here later on. I was trying to get some things done, dude. But it's Tuesday, man. It's the best day of the week.
When we get the rain, bro, which is only probably like for a week straight, like out of a year, like that, which is terrible. But we have to go get sandbags on those days. Like we're gonna flood on those days. It's crazy. When it does rain, it rains. In Southern California, it doesn't rain often, but when it does, oh Lord. When it does, it does. So we start our Tuesdays, guys, with what has been the hottest freaking hitting segment on this show, and that is Ribeyes with Mike. And even on a 2-2 day, the dude still ends up positive. So yeah, that's like 4 straight weeks this man has produced on the day he's asked to produce. Granted, there are other days where I make him come in and I call him and like, come on, bro, I got 3 guys to talk about. I need some time. And he shows up, and you know what? I don't fault him for those type of days. Now, I wouldn't fault him anyways on this day, but like I said, I don't tell my boys to tail many people often. I have then now told them, y'all need to be playing Mike shit on Tuesdays, bro. So no pressure, Mike, no pressure. We're going to start the day off with a guy I like a lot. And fuck, 23 base runners on yesterday. I think the Ribeyes are coming today in this Houston-Miami game. And who you looking at?
Yeah, that's my breakdown right there. I mean, it's Kyle Tucker day. And I don't see any reason not to here. Start out with this guy. Give me the plus 140 spot. Look, the guy's number 4 in Major League Baseball in RBIs. He's number 12 in batting average. He's got 11 RBIs over his last 7 days. And they had that skunker yesterday. So, I kind of add those 2 up, or those 3 up, and then I look at the other fact that he's improved his K percentage by double digits this season. So he's been working on that consistency that he has, and he's earned every right to be where he is, right? Those numbers in leading Major League Baseball are are quite the honor. And there's a stackable cast of characters that kind of run in that company with him that all produce day in and day out. Now, they didn't get it done yesterday. I'm rolling back to him again today. I just think it's too much opportunity. I do believe Houston wins this game in the bounce back spot. And I think Tucker's going to lead the way. He's at that plus 140 number for us. Cheapest guy I have on the card today, but I think this is a great card across the entire Major League Baseball situation. So just because I go through a couple guys today doesn't mean that there's not a whole bunch I wasn't interested in here. I just ultimately wanted to pare it down and give you guys what I think are the 4 strongest. And Tucker leads the charge for me with Houston today.
I'm glad you see this as a good card, and you must be saying that for hitting props, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because this is one of the worst cards in the history of baseball for betting K props today, bro. Like, no bullshit. I woke up and was like, what the fuck am I looking at today, bro? Like, I'm doing work on work, hours of work, and I'm like, fuck, man. Am I really going to fucking do this today? But I'm over here running this Reds lineup while you talk us some Tucker, and that happens to be the sweet spot. You never said the sweet spot, but plus 140 on a ribby, and Mike likes it. Oh boy, I think I'm about the bus. So we're gonna head into the next game on Mike's docket, which happens to be a 2-pack, as he's gonna look both ways. He gonna look right, he gonna look left, and he gonna cash both ways. As we're talking about, it's the Windy City battle, guys, of the White Sox and Cubs. Who you looking at here?
Yeah, so I picked this game specifically because the opportunity for the over and the runs. Kyle Hendricks, trend spot today is a 12-0 to the over. When it goes over, it's going over the total by over 5 runs, and that does not include any games with extra innings. So those are kind of things I look at when I start to try to figure out, is this a good opportunity for the over? And then, of course, if it's over, there's going to be runs being produced by our hitters. So where I started today, I'm going to go with the Cubs side first. I'm going to go with my guy, Dansby Swanson. You know, for a month now, this guy's been just money in the bank. He's in the sweet spot at plus 150 as well. He's got home runs in 3 of his last 4 games when the Cubs are a home favorite in the model that they fit today. So guy's going to be able to knock it around the yard. I certainly don't expect there to be a ton of defense being played on either side of this situation. And Dansby Swanson's leading the Cubs across the board. So, again, one of those situations where you've got just a guy that's productive. He's in the right spot in the hole. He's got Bellinger around him. He's got Ian Happ out there as well. There's guys that can get on base. And with his production and his effectiveness out there at the bat, I think he's a really great spot today at that plus 150.
And then we heading right on to the other side.
Change jerseys. Change those jerseys. And here we go with
stay in the same city, though. Stay in the same city.
Same city. I mean, south side, other side. I don't know what the other side's called in Chicago there, but nonetheless, Lewis Robert Jr. Give me Lou Bob at plus 145 today. Again, sweet spot number. I expect that this Hendricks situation is going to be where the weak link is here. I know a lot of people that I respect in the capping world are all over the Cubs today. I think it's a Cubs letdown spot with Hendricks, but nonetheless, again, with those runs and that opportunity, Hendricks has been throwing up home runs like it's his job. And it's been ridiculous over the last, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks, particularly. Hendricks has just been leaking like a bucket, and a rusty bucket at that. So give me Lou Bob at plus 145. Look, his last 7 days, he's hitting at 400. He's been hitting around 300 all major league season, with the exception of the dog days of summer in July. He dipped down to a 266. So we got a 300 hitter that's been banging it out at a 400 rate, averaging coming off a 266. He's got 65 home runs. He leads the team RBIs. He leads the team in RBIs, batting average, and home runs. He's number 4 in Major League Baseball in the RBI category behind Olsen, Ohtani, Alonso, and Mookie Betts. Give me Lou Bob at 145. Again, it's all about your friends, and they kind of show you who you are. And there's a guy that's got a bunch of friends in the top lineup that he's with there, and I think it's a great spot today. I love the team total over for the White Sox, too, as a little free spot for you guys. Great looking here for plus 145 on Lou Bob.
Man, these are all sweet spots, bro. This sounds like a gosh damn freaking ribeye parlay. We go get some filet mignon. And as of right now, I want to still go batter through batter while Mike talks his next guy. But This Cincinnati lineup is pick on a bull. 4.8 walk percentage, striking out 27% of the time, and their ISO drops to 146. Allen looks like he may be in a spot to back. Now, I definitely still want to go, like I said, batter through batter each to make sure it's just not one or two guys bringing that K percentage down. But it's looking like Allen is definitely in a beautiful type spot. While I do that, we going to let Mike finish his day, guys. And he going to finish his day backing my favorite catcher in the league. And he may be a doyer, and it happens to be in the Pirates and Dodger game. Who you looking at here?
Yeah, I'm going Will Smith right out the gate here. My guy's been a plus 150 once again in that window, in that wheelhouse, and a productive role at that. So I like a lot of these Dodgers spots today. I think, we know about Mookie Betts, right? I just talked about him a second ago and what he's been doing with Major League Baseball. We know about Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman kind of goes through those stretches of consistency, and I certainly don't hate that play either. But, I look for guys and how they produce when they're in certain team situations. And, a situation for my guy, Will Smith, today is home run effectiveness when it comes against the Milwaukee Brewers. Hauser's in a position to get touched up tonight. And Will Smith's got home runs in his last 2 games against Hauser. So in terms of where he's at in the order, I expect 4, maybe even 5 times through. I think it's going to be a tough day for the Brewers. The only stat that I have that kind of supports an under in this game particularly is the first game of a series on a Tuesday. Gave me a little bit of apprehension when series start on a Tuesday. For whatever reason, they've been going over or under rather at a really, really high rate. And, that kind of gave me a little trepidation, but I'm going to punch through it. I'm going to go with Will Smith. I think the guy's effectiveness, again, when the bat's in his hand, is through the window or through the roof, and it's plus 150. So, again, all 4 guys today. I really try to pare it down. There's some other spots that I like as well, but, again, those ones are the ones that I certainly stand behind. I feel the most confidence, and I think we get them all 4 today. But, parlay and be responsible. Go at your own risk. Do some round robins. Just make sure you get in there and take them, and let's cash together.
Man, I'm over here. I've got through 5 of the batters, and De La Cruz is striking out. You guys know 1 to 4 times, dude, versus a lefty, and they keep putting this dude in the top 3. Newman's struggling right now versus a lefty, and he's leading off. McClain ain't, and I'm just going to end up having to go batter through batter, but it's leaning to the over. Looking like I will be looking at backing his outs, and you know what? If you give up 3 runs today, so be it. This team is not hitting with the lineup that they put out today. This ain't got Jonathan India's a goddamn lefty killer, bro. That dude runs pitch counts up. Dude, they don't have room for Jonathan India. This is how fucking stacked their young talent is. The rookie of the year a few years back, bro. Like, what? Huh? Yeah, if you're just tuning in, guys, for Ribeyes with Mike's recap of the day, do us a favor, smash that like button, as it does help people find the best MLB prop show on God's green earth. He gonna start his day, guys, off, and we're talking sweet spots today, because every guy in the sweet spot, and we ain't talking about the Candy Factory or that Poontang. We talking about Ribeyes, guys. We gonna take Tucker. Oof, who don't like us, Tucker of the Houston Astros at plus 140, as they had 23 people on base when I stopped counting yesterday. They should get them in today. Then he's going to head over to the Battle of the Windy City, guys, and we're going to talk Swanson's RBI at plus 150, and then we're going to switch jerseys and hop on over to Luis Robert at plus 145 for his RBI. We're going to finish it up, guys, with the last game of the day. And that's my Doyers. And we're going to head on over to Chavez Ravine, and we're going to pick on Adrian Hauser and take Will Smith at plus 150 to end our day and to cash our parlay. Because, we're going to the bank today. So appreciate you, my bro, as always. Let them know where they can find you, what you got going on, and you got your stream going tonight.
You guys know what the deal is, man. I'm in, on, and around the Pub Sports universe here, dude. We're trying to make that cash, trying to help everybody find those winners. And I always appreciate getting the opportunity to jump on with my guy Sharpie here in the best damn prop show in the game and share some looks, man. So let's get it. Let's have that. Let's get that cash. Let's have some fun. Let's make some money. You know what I'm saying?
Sir. Until next time, I appreciate you, my guy.
You got it, brother.
I didn't want salmon. I said it 4 times. Wedding is horseshit.
As you guys already know, we've already talked the first 3 pitchers on the slate today, as well as we just finished with Ribeyes with Mike. So if you haven't hit that like button, if you love what you're hearing, go do me a favor and hit that retweet. As the last few days, I wasn't able to go through the chat, guys, and call out the best bets for those who did hashtag WeBePubbin. We are back to normal schedule as we've got the best producer back, and Sharpie ain't got to touch all the buttons and screw shit up. So let's get into the next guy on the board, and that's Lucas Giolito at the Rangers. Well, he's striking people out this year at a nice 25% clip while walking people league average 8.5% of the time. Opened him up 6+ plus 112 on FanDuel, where it's now best line available to that 5.5 is still on FanDuel at plus 114. PrizePicks has him at a 5, whereas hits, earn runs, outs are not available on PrizePicks. The projected lineup is 6 lefties and 3 righties. Did that lineup come out yet? Because that lineup is actually a very key piece to what I have trying to do today. It's not on that one, but it's not always up on that one. So let's go check the other lineup site. As I do go to RotoWire first, but then MLB Network second, because sometimes one has it, the other hasn't. And when the app that I use on Twitter doesn't tell me if they're righty, lefties, and whatnot, it just says what position that they are going to be playing in. So we go to the MLB one, and hopefully we got a Texas Rangers lineup. And we still don't have it. So projected 6 lefties, 3 righties, and now we're going to talk us Giolito at the Rangers for the first time this year. And when we look at their numbers over the last 15 days, it says run for the hills, as they are walking 9% of the time. They're not striking out and have a team isolated power, second best in the league in that time span. So let's go see who they seen that we would bet on in that time span. And how about Sandy Alcantara, where he had himself 7 strikeouts in 6 innings, as well as Hugh Darvish had himself 9 in 6 innings. And that's the 2 guys that I would bet on in the last 15 days. And I did bet Alcantara after I learned a very valuable lesson studying the lineup of the Rangers versus Darvish. And it's no way said, guys, that Darvish should have had the day that he did. And then I had to come to the conclusion of this team takes first pitches better than most teams in the league, guys, and that's not what you want to do versus guys like Darvish and Alcantara. Guys who don't walk people with an above league average with a league average or better first strike call and 3 or more put away pitches. Like, they don't just go to the slider or the changeup. They have 3 from Alcantara. He actually uses all 4. All pitches equally with a 20% put away, where Darvish has 7 pitches that he uses at least 10% of the time. So you just don't want to go down 1 strike to guys that have multiple pitches and who throw strikes. So we've got to go look at what this man does. We got to go look up his metrics, guys, and see how this man does. As the lineup does favor this man, as they are projecting 6 lefties and 3 righties, and his K per 9 this year is only a half strikeout better. But if you look at last year, it was damn near 2 strikeouts better per 9. And the dude throughout his career has always handled lefties better. So let's go look at this guy's pitch mix and see if he throws first pitch strikes, because you're going to have to throw first pitch strikes versus a team who's very patient. So let's go look at it, guys. And he throws his curveball to lefties only 1.5% of the time this year and refuses to throw it to righties, but he just doesn't throw it enough. So it's more of a get me over type curveball just to get a strike in the count, where he splits up his changeup equally, guys, and has an elite whiff percentage when he throws that pitch, as well as an elite whiff percentage on his slider. Now, when we look at how he puts people away, this man does he uses 3 different pitches pretty much equally, in being his changeup, slider, and his curve and his fastball. And he uses them all pretty much to the same side, but he doesn't, can't say all to the same side, as it is more slider dominant to the right-handed side. So is 2 pitches enough to get this team? Now, that's the question here, guys, as he does throw his first pitch strike at league, a little bit above league average, and that's right where Darvish is at. But Alcantara is like out of this world, 5% better when you come to look at first pitch strikes. So, yeah, the numbers say hell no. The lineups say, okay, Giolito, I see you. So let's just go check out this past history, as only 3 people in this projected lineup have more than 9 at-bats versus Giolito. And we do have 6 total, guys, if we take in the ones who have at least 3 plate appearances. So we have 55 times that this projected lineup have seen Giolito, and they're striking out at a 27% clip. All right, then. Now, the 2 who bring this career K percentage way down happens to be the top 2 batters in this Rangers lineup in Semien and Seager. Granted, Seager has just 6 at-bats. Now, there are 2 guys on the bench that if they put in this lineup in Garver and Grossman, who have struck out 33% of their at-bats or worse in very good sample size versus these guys with 17 plate appearances or more. Yeah, the lean could then become a bet, guys. So let's go see, guys, who catches Monty, and that will let us know if Garver's going to be in the lineup. As in the 2 games Monty has pitched with the Rangers, he's had 2 different catchers. Garver 1 game, and Huff caught him in the second. So there is a chance that we get Garver, guys, and there is a chance that we get Grossman in this lineup, though normally he does platoon more versus lefties, but they will put him in versus righties as well. So I don't see him giving up. I do see him giving up the 2.5 earned runs, guys, that he is at, and it's at a minus 150. And if we do get an ump that favors us a pitcher, that will help us call those strikes, because we're going to need more first pitch strikes than normal, and he is at least league average when it comes to it, guys. The lean's heavy right now on Giolito, as it may be a better live bet, as Semien and Seager are going to be real tough outs. But who's to say he's even going to get him fucking out? And then he gets the next guys through the lineup. So I'm looking for Grossman. I'm looking for Garver. I want that past history. I want those lefties in the lineup. And it's definitely a hold my beer type situation, guys. And also a situation where he can get fucking destroyed and pulled out. So there's mass volatility if you do want to get involved here. But I can't look under right now. I just really can't. And the lean is over. And it just might be a just let it go type spot and watch him go deal or not deal, either which way. I've got to pay my bills off of this shit, and I have been. So, yeah, I'm not going to force it if I don't have to. Next guy on the book, guys, is Jordan Montgomery, number 45 in the black book, and he gets the Angels. And he's striking people out this year at a whopping 21.5%. While walking people 6.5% of the time. Open them up on FanDuel at 6 plus minus 136, where the best line available is still on FanDuel to that 5.5 at a minus 142. PrizePicks has them at a 6, whereas hits, earned run, outs are not available on PrizePicks. Projected lineup is 6 righties and 3 lefties. Now we get to talk the other side of this matchup, and that's Jordan Montgomery versus the Angels. From the outside looking in, this looks like a great spot to get in, as the Angels over their last 200 plate appearances are not walking while striking out 28.5% of the time. But they are smashing the shit out of the ball with a team isolated power in the 220s. And those numbers have to go back 30 days to get those 200 plate appearances. So let's just go see who they've seen. And the only 2 guys in the last month that I would bet on that these Angels seen was Framber Valdez, who had his most strikeouts ever in 13, but he did get blasted after he came out in the 6th inning. He went 6.1 innings, gave up 5 earned runs, but like I said, had 13 strikeouts. They also blasted Carlos Rodon, who didn't make it 5 innings and hasn't looked right all year. And we've talked about how his vertical and his horizontal break just wasn't up to par. So a lot of this K percentage that they bring into this matchup, guys, has been versus mediocre to end of the rotation type of guys. And the fact that Monty has had some really tough matchups his last few games, we get a 5.5. Yes, it is very juiced, as he hasn't had good matchups for his K prop, guys, since the All-Star break. And that's been 5 games. His last time that he's seen a team with a bad K percentage, he had himself 5 strikeouts in 4.1 innings and was pulled at 66 pitches. Due to some type of injury. And Monty, guys, has been easy as they come as betting him this year. It's do they have a K percentage of 24 or worse? As he is 5-1 to the over 5.5, with the 1 loss being pulled at 66 pitches and having 5 strikeouts and 4.1 innings of work. So, yeah, if we take out that one game where he got pulled due to injuries, he's averaging 6.6 strikeouts a game when he's faced a team with a K percentage of 24% or worse. Everything, guys, has me saying this is a hunky-dory, and let's just go smash this spot. Then I go look at the projected lineup versus Monty, and 6 guys have at least 3 at-bats. Well, 2 have 15 or more, and we got 53 at-bats in this lineup versus in this projected lineup versus Montgomery. And they're not striking out, guys, at only 17% of the time. And the one guy with an issue versus him, guys, has been Crone. And if they let Crone sit today, guys, that K percentage drops to 13%. So the over that looked so easy from the outside now has some freaking issues in it, as what's going to give the Angels versus lefties striking out, or Montgomery not striking out these guys that are in the lineup that he's seen in the past. So once again, I'm going to need lineups, as I've just got to be patient, and patience is what kept Team Sharpie, guys, with no losing days other than a little bit of juice this last 7 days. So lineups are key. You're going to hear me say that more often than not, as I may just let them go, as there's no way in hell would I ever bet an under with the Angels. And I think you're fucking crazy if you do. And yeah, give me my money. And I just can't straight go over, guys. At the end of the day, this past history has me worried. Monty Mac might get the fucking seat today after that shithole of a performance today, and he is a lefty, guys. So they are projecting 3 lefties, which is I don't know if you really want to do that versus Montgomery, guys. Like, yes, his K per 9 is better versus the right-handed side, but yeah, lefties just don't hit this man. So if you want to be analytical, we should get a right-handed dominant lineup here. And I'm going to need that K percentage to say yes. Yeah, and it's going to have to say yes by more than that 24 for me to get in, as, yeah, he's 5-0, but that past history has me just like, ugh. So if they sit Crone, then it's fucking, it may just be a dead under, guys, and you're going to be like, what the fuck just happened? What the fuck just happened? So I need lineups before I pull the trigger on Montgomery, but it's just things pulling at his under, and a lot of things pulling at his over. So this may be another spot that I just got to say, I'm not here to pick which side. I'm not here to guess, guys. If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. But I'm seeing things that say over, seeing things that say under, and I'm not going to just bet it and guess. Now, what I am seeing here, guys, is a fucking under, and we're talking Bobby Miller versus the Brewers, number 53 in the black book. He's striking people out 22.5% of the time, while walking people 7% of the time this year. Morning line was 6+ at plus 112 on FanDuel, where the best line available now is plus 105 to that 5.5, and that's still on FanDuel. PrizePicks has him at a 5.5, whereas hits, earned run, outs are not available on PrizePicks. Projected lineup is 5 righties and 4 lefties. So we end the day, guys, talking the killer Bobby Miller versus the Brew Crew. And when we look at their numbers over the last 15 days versus right-handed pitchers, they're top of the food chain at walking and not striking out, yet they're bottom of the league when it comes to isolated power. So let's go see who they've seen in the last 15 days. Dylan Cease went 7 innings, 2 earned runs with 7 strikeouts. Jesse Schultens went 6.1 innings, and an earned run with 5 strikeouts. Kopech got blasted, didn't make it more than 4 innings. They beat up on 2 Rocky bums, where Johan Oviedo of the Pirates went 7 innings with 0 earned runs and getting 6 strikeouts. Quinn Priester only went 4 innings, giving up 3 runs and had 3 strikeouts, while Mitch Keller got baptized in 5 innings, gave up 8 earned runs, and we cashed the under 5.5 by the hook. Josiah Gray got blasted, didn't make it 4 innings, giving up 5 earned runs with just 3 Ks, as they also blasted Chirinos, as Irvin and Smith-Schuster did have a good start, but the strikeouts just weren't there. As they have blasted 7 of the 11 right-handed pitchers they have seen in the last 15 days, and I don't get how their isolated power doesn't say they're better than that. So, yeah. Let's look, though, at the only 2 that have cashed their K-prop on their last 15 in their last 11 right-handed batters. Dylan Cease had to go 7, only averaged a strikeout per inning, and Johan Oviedo had to go 7 innings to get 6 strikeouts. Well, you know the difference between Cease and Bobby Miller? How about Cease has an elite strikeout percentage and he had to go 7 for 7, where Bobby Miller has a 22.5%. That's below league average, guys. So at the end of the day, this man has never gone past more than 6 innings in a start. Johan Oviedo had to go 7 to get his 6th. And the only other guy in this mix to hit their freaking K-prop is Dylan Cease. I've got to go under if they give me that lineup that has been the same lineup they've been running out every damn day versus right-handed pitchers. So give me Canna, give me Santana, give me Frelick, give me Yelich. I'll deal with Adames and fucking Contreras. Those two may be the death of me, but at the end of the day, this team is fucking hitting. They're not, it says they're not hitting, which I think is a bunch of horse shit. Maybe go recheck their isolated power because that annoys me that it says they're that low. And, yeah, it says they're bottom 5 in the league, which I don't get that. They must be getting dominated after these starters get pulled out the game. So, yeah, Bobby Miller, I think he's in trouble today, guys. And I'm pretty sure Hauser's in trouble. So there's no way I can look at a Dodgers money line when I think the guy's going to get pounded today. So I'll be looking at his strikeouts under 5.5. As I just think it's going to be real tough for this man to hit 6 today. Even in a good game, I could see 6 innings, 5 strikeouts. Appreciate you guys all for showing up today to the best MLB prop show on God's green earth. If you haven't, smash that damn like button as it does help a lot. This is the part of the show where I got to run through the chat and call out the best bets as, yeah, it's not just me, guys, at the end of the day. And I don't want to be missing some. So if you did miss some and you were at the beginning for some reason and it doesn't pop up, then it'll just be what it is. So, yeah, looks like people are pissed off Sharpie couldn't freaking call it. But we've got Jay Peasley talking about Tucker's RBI at plus 140. You see his run plus RBI at minus 201. Jay Peasley, there is a couple spots there on Bovada. You just got to find the RBI. Scroll down in the whole game and not just go to the prop builder, and they should have RBIs down towards the bottom of everything when they show home run props and all that other stuff. They should have RBIs down there as well. You can only single bet. They may let you do it, though. So Cover King's talking about Giolito teams are 0-14 since September 2019 when he starts as a dog of at least 1 plus 120, and the total is 7 or more. Now, I'll tell everybody who brings up trends is, did you bet that the other 19 or 14 times that he did? Because then, I mean, then you're just jumping onto the bandwagon. But I hear you. I mean, that definitely goes with, I think Giolito's given up 3 earned runs or more for sure. There's definitely volatility in him getting his ass kicked today. And you could still hit your K-prop while getting your ass kicked. And that's the question, do I want to get involved in? And I'm going to need me some Garver and Grossman in that bitch while they get to beating on Giolito. At least, you know, I'm going to need them out there for that 5 innings to hit that 6 strikeouts at plus money. Appreciate the chat, guys. Ed Seafrost, he's on steer. Cincinnati over a half a RBI. So he's taking himself in a ribby at plus 125. And that's on DK. So we probably get even money on the offshore. So no harm, no foul with us fuckers, right? This show is sponsored by PrizePicks. If you haven't, go on over there and use that promo code PubSports. You will get a match deposit up to $100, minimum of $25 on your first deposit. Until next time, I'm Sharpie's Bets. This show is fucking finally produced again by Big Show Picks. And our special guest today was Pimp Slap Play of the Day. Some say we be pubbing. I say lineups come out.
Keep firing, assholes!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Pub Sports Radio Week Preview, where we guys give you a little hint of what's coming out this week on Pub Sports Radio's programming. Let's start off with our guy, Die Hard MMA, aka Clint McLean. He's got 3 shows coming up this week and a big UFC event this week. He's joined by Lucrative MMA. Monday, Thursday, and Friday are his programs. Go check him out today, as well as the members only Contender Series stream we've got going on Tuesday as well. No boxing for Danny and Preston.
Tonight. I'll be there.
Them out there for the members only edition of the Contenders Series stream. And of course, wrapping up our UFC the Stat Diggers, DFS by the Numbers, Brady and Wheezy, back again Sunday night. So go check out their live stream as well, where they give you guys a deep breakdown of the UFC. Baseball-wise, of course, we've got the Balking Dead. Shout out to our guy Sharpie, the best pitching prop lord in all the land. He's got plenty of guests. Our guy Mike M, the Pimp Slap Play himself, LJ, giving out his player props as well. Spin Doc, C-Mac, and many more joining him on his program. And shout out to me with Say Hey Plays every day, Monday through Friday. On Thursdays, I do Jimmy's show, but we'll talk about Jimmy here very soon. But Monday through Friday, 4 p.m., 5 p.m. Eastern.